With an Aoi Haka, Warner Brothers Studio Tour Hollywood welcomed its new Aquaman exhibit this morning. Producer Peter Safran was there to talk about the exhibit.
We love it. I am thrilled. When I walked in there today, I felt like I was back on the set in Australia when we shot it. It's an incredible exhibit. But when you walk in and you see Momoa in the hero golden green outfit with the waterfall behind him, I will never forget that day that we shot it on set, where he walked through the water, and it was the first time the crew, the cast, that anybody had seen him in that golden green, and he comes in with his trident and he plants it in the rock right there, and you're like, this is just a winner. Yeah. But I'll tell you, when I walked in and I saw, Black Manta, just again, the detail with which James Wan created in conjunction with Kim Barrett, our wardrobe designer, and also the people at Ironhead who fabricated the costume. The detail that went into every curve and sinew of the accoutrements that are on the on that part of that wardrobe. It's all right there for people to see, and it's extraordinary the quality of work that went into it.
This is our Aquaman section, which you're the first people to really see. And it starts right here with the Romulus statue as well, and kind of the looking glass that they use. They have the stunt bottle here, but the actual bottle and map inside of the case on this side. So to really kick off the exhibit, it starts with Aquaman. Jason Momoa, and this is that costume that Peter was just talking about in the interview. The reveal where he comes through the waterfall and presents himself in that traditional golden green costume and the Trident of King Atlin. And these things were all the backing that you see, the waterfall that you see, that was crafted on the lot. They basically carved it out of foam, and then they vacuum pressed it, metallic sprayed it, and then they have the projections and soundscaping of the waterfall to really bring to life the reveal of Aquaman in his traditional armor. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, we're going to head over this way. So here we have the Black Manta costume. Black Manta, his real name is David Kane, and he was played by a wonderful actor, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. And it's such a great crafting of this costume because he's Aquaman's oldest foe, his real true arch nemesis. And he uses, in the movie, it's Atlantean technology that really brings his suit to life as Black Manta. And all the backing that you see here that they created, it's all kind of traveling LED lights to really make the exhibit dynamic. So standing here, if you're here for a few minutes, things will change. Even the lights of his suit will start to flicker. So again, very, very dynamic. And you have the dagger that his father gives him in the movie. His portrayal of the character was to make sure that Black Manta was a clearly defined villain, that there was no question what his motivations were, that you knew going into the film and really throughout the action exactly what made him Black Manta and really what kind of revved his engine. So I love, this is one of my favorite costumes, hands down. Here we have the Sunken Galleon scene where Vulko is really kind of explaining the journey that Mera and Arthur are going to go on to try to recover the Trident. So you have an elite commando costume, you have an Arthur Curry costume, and then you have a Vulko costume as well. My fun fact for you is this. These technically, the outfit and the coat don't technically go together. They're from two different scenes. But the funny thing that goes with that is the body for this mannequin was not cast to Jason Momoa, so when they put his costume on him first, they were like, this is not nearly big enough. So to hide the arms, they put a different Arthur Curry coat on that costume, because if you've seen the movie, Jason Momoa's gigantic. He and I are roughly the same physical stature. I'm just kidding. So, Sunken Galleon scene, and I think one of the greatest takeaways, one of the coolest things about the entire exhibit is that all of the scenic backing that you see, they are not screen grabs from the film. This is concept art. So they took that from designers that were part of the design team, and it's original concept art for the backing. Here we have Amber Heard's costume. She played Mera, of course. And the scenic backing that you see here is when she really kind of saves the day, when she comes to the rescue for Arthur and his dad when the truck crashes. She did a great job as Mira. Come on over this way. This is from the scene where Tom Cruise really kind of discovers Atlanta when he saves her and brings her into the house. And the Trident that you see here, the costume, his costume again, it's all real from the set. They're not replicas. These are the original props and costumes from the film that come here for the display. And the dynamic exhibit here is you get some of the lightning. I also think that this was such a great scene in the beginning because James Wan, of course, is such a brilliant horror director, and that opening scene in the rain and the storm looks like something out of a James Wan horror film, and I absolutely loved it. This is some WB trivia for you as well, but the beams that this set piece is actually built on for this exhibit, these came out of a soundstage on the lot. It's from reconstruction of soundstage number 24. We essentially archive everything, and there is, vintage wood is a real thing. So when we tear old structures down from the 1930s, we don't get rid of everything. We store it, we archive it. So when they were building this exhibit, because of Aquaman, the movie, and what it did for the studio and how big of a success it was, they pulled original wood from a soundstage from the 1930s at Warner Brothers to support this exhibit piece, which is amazing. They don't do that for just anybody. We'll creep right around the corner here to the Codex. So this is, again, a really kind of interactive exhibit that comes to life if you stand here long enough. So when they go to the Deserters' Kingdom and they discover the Codex, which stores the final message of King Atlin, they have that here, and if we wait long enough, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know where I am in timing for the thing, so it'll pop on, I'm sure, at any moment now. And again, the costumes that Arthur and Mera wear when they are in the Sahara, when they find the Deserters' Kingdom. We have the prop Codex, the stunt Codex here, the actual Codex in the box, and all real set pieces. The exhibit is essentially cut in half. Everything on this side is land, everything on the other side is sea. And you can see that the flames and the Codex are animated, and you'll see a surprise cameo appearance from King Atlin momentarily.
In this Trident resides the power of Atlantis.
Absolutely epic. Right behind you guys here, this is the final resting place of King Atlin. This is an actual photo op that you can do, guests can do. You can sit in the seat and you can grab the Trident. It is, again, the Trident of Atlantis. This is the Trident that Gary was speaking on the Paris premiere that Jason Momoa broke over his leg. They reinforced and put it back together. It's not painted gold, it's gold leaf, which is a very, very detailed process. You have to go sheet by sheet by sheet. So this is here, again, as a photo op, you can sit down, and this is all about, we said, getting people closer to the entertainment that they love. So you can have the Trident of Atlantis, and you can sit right here, just like King Atlin. I do want everybody to just pause for a moment on the way over and not miss Aquaman #1. These are from the DC Comic Archive. They're DC's copies of these comic books, so make sure that you don't miss that. It's an original copy of Aquaman #1. And then we'll move on over this way. Come on down. This is King Nereus, played by Dolph Lundgren in the movie. One of my fun facts about that is that, again, concept art in the background, but when it came to King Nereus, James Wan had it in his mind the whole time that they wanted Dolph Lundgren to play the part. And so even in concept art, before they approached him about the movie, they were using his face as concept art. They were basing King Nereus on Dolph Lundgren before they ever had the conversation about it being in the movie. And then, of course, he signed right on, and there was no question about it. But they used it before they even talked to him about it. King Nereus. It's a beautiful depiction of the Ring of Fire fight scene from Aquaman, the film. You have Arthur Curry up against his brother Orm, played by Patrick Wilson. And again, this is kind of like a gladiator fight scene that they have in front of thousands of Atlanteans. And the exhibit that you see, it's like where the fire meets the sea. And they created these magma pillars for the exhibit. They saw where the light would travel, and then they painted it to make it cooler here, hotter in the middle, and it travels. And again, the backing here is not from the movie, this is concept art. So you see the Ring of Fire, and then you have the royal box that they watch the fight from, and over here you have a close-up of the royal box itself. We're going to cross over this way. We'll end with that one that you passed by. This is the survivor costume Queen Atlanta wears when Arthur and Mera kind of discover her on this dead king's island, and he doesn't know what to expect. Her costume is kind of made up of, you know, the trench, and they have like the crab hand. So it's all, again, original. Originally, this was going to be separate. They decided to bring these things together. So this is Queen Atlanta's survivor costume from Dead King's Island. When he finally gets to see his mom again, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. With the cell phone tongue out. And then you have, again, Patrick Wilson's Orm Ocean Master costume here. Kim Barrett did such a great job with the detail of this costume and his trident. As a comic book fan and as an Aquaman fan, to see his mask in person the first time and see his costume, it's the coolest thing ever. Patrick Wilson also put on 15 pounds of muscle leading up to the filming, and he and Jason Momoa got along famously. And they said that they would really bring out the best in each other as well. So they really had kind of like a fiery on-set fight, but they actually got along. They were buddies. I wouldn't want to fight this guy in real life because, like I said, he put on 15 pounds of muscle. But Orm, right there, first time ever in person, right there.